Hello and welcome to Church at Home with Rachel for Tuesday, the 10th of January. Welcome. My name is Rachel Parker. My pronouns are she and her. I am an Anglican priest, the Anglican Church of Canada, the Diocese of Edmonton, in the beautiful province of Alberta in Canada. And I serve the parish of Dayspring Ministries, which is a collaboration of three small town churches, St. Mary's Edgerton, St. Saviour's in Vermilion, and St. Thomas in Wainwright. And I am their priest or their rector. And I'm glad to have you with me today. For those of you who know me, who have been watching for a while, you know that we've had kind of a rough fall in our house. My husband was diagnosed with congestive heart failure out of the blue, and things have been sort of topsy-turvy since then. He's doing pretty well. He's doing pretty good. We just haven't had any tests back to find out how well he's doing or if medications are working, but he seems to be feeling better. And he's back to a lot of his old self, which is awesome. But one of the things that has happened over the last 3.5 months is a real roller coaster of emotions and recognition that even though I am a person of faith, as a priest, as a Christian, I believe in God and I believe in Jesus Christ and the Holy Spirit. And I know in my head that strength is derived from my belief that the God that I believe in gives me strength. But there are times when my heart forgets that. And sometimes I think that sometimes when our faith feels like it's flailing, when we feel like we've been sort of left behind or something, there are many different emotions that can happen. Anger, absolutely. I felt a lot of that. Despair, feeling like there's no hope, like absolutely the day looks black, there's no hope, nothing good can ever happen again. All of those things. But one thing I think that is the most insipid little thing is fear. Fear. Now, I had fear long before my husband got sick. I am a nervous Nelly. Put it that way. I'm a little bit nervous about things. I get fearful and I start to worry about things, and I get like a worry ball, and it's almost like a chain of events that get started, and it's like watching a train wreck happen and I can't stop it. I start worrying about something and then I get fearful, and then that fuels more worry and then more fear until I'm like, I can barely breathe, and it's like, oh, okay, take a deep breath, say a prayer. It's all okay. Is it happening right now? No. Everything's okay right now. Don't worry about tomorrow. Focus on right now. Well, the other night, Sunday night, I was doing some work in my office. I was trying to get things sort of cleaned up for the new year, filing and things like that. So I had YouTube on, and I've been listening to Beau of the Fifth Column a lot. I had missed out for a week or so there. I didn't really watch him, so I was catching up on his videos. And then when those got caught up, I didn't really want to watch stuff about the news. So I thought, I'm going to look for some Christian country music. I love country music. It's my thing. It's my go-to. But I really wanted something faithful, something Christian. So I typed in, Christian country music, and up pulled this song from Zach Williams called "Fear is a Liar." And it was like God spoke to me in that moment. It's like, yes, absolutely. I don't know about you, but did you have friends when you were younger, maybe in high school? Maybe you still have them now, that are those people who they feel it is their life's intention, the job they have in their life to make sure that you or whoever they're around is brought down a peg or two. You ever had someone like that in your life? Someone that no matter how well you do, you could get 99% on a math test and, well, you didn't get 100. Or, you could meet that new person in your life and be smitten and feeling all happy-go-lucky and all those new feelings you have when you're falling in love. And this person's like, well, you don't really know that much about them. It's like the pin in a balloon. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter how big that balloon is, but somebody puts a pin in it, all the air comes flying out. Well, fear is like that friend. Fear is like that person who that negative, naysaying person that for whatever reason we allow to hang out in our lives, that comes in and just quietly and incipiently and just almost without noticing starts planting those seeds of doubt. Fear is a Liar. It's an incredible song. I really do encourage you to look it up. His name is Zach Williams, ZachWilliams. And I'll put his I'll put his information in the write-up on beneath the video in case you want to check him out. It's a beautiful song. It's a very, very powerful video, if you see the video. But this idea that fear is a liar. Fear doesn't tell us the truth. Because the fact is that fear feeds that part of ourselves that we don't want to hang on to, but for whatever reason seems to be innate in us. We all have that. Some people have it more than others. Some people are very fortunate and they're able to sort of, yeah, I know I have fears, but I can get over them. And other people are like, yeah, I know I have fears and they're paralyzing me. And other people don't even realize that they are fearful. It just overwhelms them and consumes them. And that is a shame. And if we are like that, we need to seek some help. We need to ask a friend to help us when we get into that space of downward spiral of feeling fearful. We need someone to come in and say, here's a life ring. I'm gonna send I'm gonna throw this life ring to you. You just have to hang on to it. It's gonna keep you afloat, and I'm gonna pull you in. We need someone like that. Sometimes we need to be that person for someone else. So keep an eye out for those situations in your life. But this idea that fear is always present. We always have it. And you can't get away from it. All you have to do is turn on the news, and there's elements of fear. Look at the newspaper, and there's seldom is there not something that sort of indicates, we should be worried about this. We should be fearful. Talk about climate change. We should be fearful. Fear doesn't help us change anything. Fear paralyzes us. Now, our response to fear is something completely different. When we can acknowledge that we have a fear, and then we can determine how we are going to combat that fear, then things can happen. Many of us are fearful of climate change, of what's happening. Lack of food, lack of water, too much heat, too much cold, the ocean levels rising and people on the coast, the coastal areas being engulfed by water, things like that. They're talking about the permafrost in the north thawing and what is being released into the world. Yeah, fear, those things can be fearful. Okay, so we acknowledge the fear. Okay, fear, you're here. You're in the room with us. We name you. We are aware of you. Now, how do we deal with it? Now we figure out how to fight it. Now we figure out what can we do to deal with climate change. It might be something as simple as recycling and composting and making good decisions about how we get to work, about how we spend our money, how we heat our homes, little things like that. It could be writing petitions. It could be, going to our governments and saying we need to do something, and we know it's going to hurt. We know that financially, or this is going to be a pinch. But if this is what we have to do in order to allow life to continue and to save people's lives and save people from being climate refugees, because eventually, if others are, we will too. If things keep going the way they will, maybe not quickly, but maybe more quickly than we think. We can live in the fear and be paralyzed, or we can acknowledge the fear and say, you're not going to win. We're going to fight against the fear. And this song names it, Fear is a Liar. Fear tells us that everything is awful, that nothing is ever going to change. Fear tells us that we're not worthy, that we are useless, that we can't affect change in our lives. Why? Fear tells us that we're not worthy of someone loving us. We're not, the efforts that we make aren't ever going to be enough, so why bother? Fear is a liar. And when we allow ourselves to be trapped in that lie, we just get pulled down. But we need to name the lie. We need to be able to say, fear, you are a liar, and I'm not going to listen to you any longer. We need to speak truth. So I invite you today to speak truth to your lies. Speak truth to your fear. Call it out. Name it for what it is. And then watch it squirm. Because you have the strength to speak truth to your fear, and you have the strength to overcome your fear. Now tomorrow I'm going to talk again about fear using another piece of music that I found, and I'll explain who shared it with me and why it's so powerful and important. But for today, I really do encourage you to look up on YouTube the song Fear is a Liar by Zach Williams. Have a great day. God bless you. And don't be scared. Embrace what comes at you and know that you can handle it. I'll see you tomorrow for Church at Home with Rachel.